Everybody has full suspension. The only difference
What if I
is
go
the
and put stock
handbrake.
suspension on my stuff?
Why would you do that though? That
Why would you
doesn't
not
make
get a
any
hand?
sense.
Why would you not get a handbrake?
Because I personally, I don't want a handbrake.
It's different styles
It's a
of
different
riding.
style of riding, and it's just a different
Completely
aspect.
different
Is
genre.
what I'm saying.
But what?
So it could be two different classes.
Let me ask you this: Why does putting a handbrake on change your style?
This podcast is sponsored by Vertical Cycles, quality American manufactured parts for your Harley Davidson. In this episode, we're going to debate the handbrake footbrake debacle. So, on this side is the footbrake guys. On that side is the handbrake guys. We got Trent from Kruesi Originals. We got Sammy Stuntz, Samoan Bruce, and Brup from Scrapecity. All right, so the handbrake footbrake thing has been a debacle since I feel like day one, and I don't know why. I'm like on a mission to figure out why. Because
It became a thing when sport bike dudes started riding Harleys.
is that when?
Definitely.
So why is it a thing? Why is it a problem?
It's not a problem. I don't think it's a problem at all.
I wouldn't use the word problem.
Honestly, I would like to see
all.
more people ride handbrakes on Harleys because then it opens up a whole class for a competition.
I need to say something though.
Say it.
A little bit of history.
Okay, drop some
The
knowledge.
sport bike had this debacle like years ago already, and then it like faded out years before Harley started, and then it's like we're redoing it. Like when I first got into like sport bikes and stunt riding and stuff, they had already had handbrakes. But I remember when I first got into it, there was like a clear, just like the old school generation of guys doing high chair scrapes on the freeway with no handbrakes. And then there was like the new generation
Which is
where
gnarly. Yeah.
they like when you first get into stunt riding, like that's part of your build. And I think over time it just kind of diminishes eventually. That's why it's like for me it's kind of just like it's the whole discussion's kind of opinion based is all it is. And I think over time everyone will eventually transfer, or they'll kind of get lost in the times, you know what I mean?
So do you think that eventually the guys without handbrakes will eventually convert to handbrakes, or just kind of get lost in the sauce because they're not progressing?
I think everyone, if they stick with the sport, like, yeah, everyone eventually will.
Get handbrakes on the
Yeah. My biggest thing towards the argument is if you took Trent right now or Sammy and I went and snuck over to their house and put a handbrake on and they went and rode their motorcycle, they could ride the exact same way as they do right now. They don't have to use a handbrake. You know what I mean? The footbrake still works. The handbrake's just sitting there. They don't have to use it, but then eventually they could learn more stuff. They could have the same style. They could ride the same way. They could do the same tricks and then do more. So, I think eventually everyone will get there, or, they just stay where
So
they're at.
for those of listeners that don't know, it's like it's like not cool to have a handbrake on your bike, your Harley right now. So, Sammy, why is it not cool to have a handbrake on your bike?
I wouldn't say it's not cool. I would say it's more of like there's something about taking a Harley and keeping it as stock as possible. Obviously, you're going to do suspension, like bars, seat, all that. But, like...
That's not stock.
It's close to stock.
You're going to change everything on that motorcycle?
Hold on. You're close to stock. I feel like that a handbrake just, like, adds it to be, like, a whole different classification of a bike.
A stunt bike.
Yeah,
Which is
basically.
what you do on it.
Yes. I don't know what... I don't know, but just a lot of people are just old school. Harley's an old school type thing. People like to have...
I think that's what it is. It's
Stockish
just like a
looking
purist
bike.
thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but you got old people don't like you doing stunts on Harleys anyways. So
which is
like,
why it's so rad to do stunts on Harley.
yeah,
You know what I
'cause they
mean? It's
hate
like,
you.
yeah.
But yeah, I get it. But I don't know. Yeah, it depends on, I guess, where you want to take, how far you want to take the sport. Because
Exactly.
we can sit here and keep doing the same thing, or we can elevate it to something else. I'm not speaking for myself because I still am doing the same tricks, but if I wanted to, I could probably, push to a whole different level of handbrake stuff if I wanted to. But I haven't been pushing myself that much, and I feel like with everybody doing like crazy helmet tricks, like scrapes and stuff like that, that's super cool. Like that's all new, But I think it's gonna get to a point where it's like, how many more tricks can you do with your foot brake,
Exactly. And like kind of where I'm at personally, I'm trying to push the foot brake to see how far you can go.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I want to see how far you can actually go without a handbrake.
Yeah.
Eventually, we're going to run out. There's going to be a cap at some point.
For sure.
But what's that cap,
Yeah.
I don't think not putting a handbrake on your bike is like stopping the progression of the sport. I think if anything, like the handbrake adds a whole different aspect to it.
100%.
And in like, say like what we did on Saturday, like a competition standpoint, now if there's 10 to 15 dudes running handbrakes on their Harleys, that's a whole other class.
Yeah.
And then you could put foot braking into that class.
So here's
Which, I know Kevin hates this topic, but it's like,
I'm ready.
here's my thing with that whole, like, okay, you get your own class. If you want to do that, like, I feel like there should either be a stock class or a stunt bike class. You guys can't call it like a
that works
class.
too. No, that works too.
Get rid of your suspension.
It's
get
just
rid of
a
your
different
seat,
name
get
with
rid
the
of your,
same concept.
I'm just saying, like, it's one of the.
It's
Also, for you, get rid of your fucking big motor. You don't know what it's like riding on a little 88.
Yes, I do.
That
bike has three different motors.
But what I'm saying is, like,
No,
like it makes certain tricks easier riding on a bigger motor. I'm saying it just like a handbrake does. Like it helps you do certain tricks better.
Well, then just like the way you worded it, a stock class and a stunt bike class.
But if it's gonna be a stock class, concept though. Take all your stock and put all your stock stuff on. Like you can't. I mean, that's the thing is like.
Well, because the only difference in the handbrake bike and the non-handbrake bike is the fucking handbrake. Everybody's running a motor. Everybody has full suspension. The only difference
what if I
is
go
the
and put
handbrake.
stock suspension on my stuff?
Why would you do that though?
Why would you not get a handbrake? Why would you not get a handbrake?
Because I personally, I don't want a handbrake.
It's different styles
It's a different
riding.
style of riding, and it's just a different aspect. Is what I'm saying.
But what?
So it could be two different classes.
Let me ask you this: Why does putting a handbrake on change your style? Like you could.
You say it all the time. You could do a million more tricks.
Right.
So if a dude with a handbrake rides with a bunch of dudes without handbrakes, the dudes without handbrakes that can't do half the shit that the handbrake guy can do are going to be like, well, what the fuck? This guy has an advantage.
Right. Just like
so why not put him in a different class?
Just like
if you're able to, because right now there's only 4 dudes riding
setup and you have better
but what I'm saying is, dude,
motors.
Our
and stuff
bikes
like
are
that.
the exact same minus the handbrake.
Minus the motor.
Okay, you have an 88. Whatever, dude. Okay,
I
rode with an 88 all the time. You
I'm-
don't have an issue with it though. A lot of dudes are putting motors in it because they have issues with the stock 88. That they can't do 30-year rollers. They can't fucking clutch this up. They can't do that. So okay, but you could do everything with the stock. Foley's on an 88.
Okay. So,
But
I mean, you could do
everything else,
you could do the
is
you could do
the
the same
same,
tricks with a stock seat. So go to stock.
Yes
seats.
and no. I mean,
okay, let's do shocks and everything.
You're not doing.
I mean, I'm
no-handers
just saying,
without a
like,
stock seat,
I'm
or
just
with a
saying,
stock
like,
seat.
you're gonna specify. Like, that's the thing is, like, where's the line of like.
But it's not like an offensive thing either, though.
But why is the line a handbrake? Why you can go out and buy one, you can put one on.
Everyone always asks us where we get our handbrake bracket from for our Harley Davidson. And honestly, everywhere has discontinued them, except at Vertical Cycles. We finally found a place that makes handbrake brackets for Dynas, M8 Softails, and touring bikes. These brackets are made of 6061 T6 billet aluminum and are super strong. It allows you to mount dual radial brake calipers on your bike so that you can finally stand out and start rocking a handbrake on your Harley. Stop letting these guys hold you back from getting a handbrake on your Harley Davidson. Go to vertical-cycles.com and use discount code GETVERTICAL to buy your handbrake bracket today.
Because to your point that you could do a million more things with the handbrake.
Exactly. So it draws a line. We can only do tricks that require the foot brake. We can't do tricks that will also require a
No one's
handbrake.
doing that without a handbrake.
Absolutely not. That's I've seen it done a couple times, but they got long fenders. My fender, you are not doing that on. Absolutely not. I'm going to die. That's not happening. But I do believe it needs to be a certain class. There needs to be in the early beginning stages of the competitions, it made sense to have us both in the same competition. But now where there's 1,000 other riders, we could have a whole new handbrake class and a footbrake class. Because then we have 2 different competitions. It's going to add way more tricks that people are never going to see. You're going to have people pushing each other on handbrakes, doing stuff that you'll never see before. Kind of like how us riding in a competition push each other to do stuff in footbrakes you've never seen before. That's why it has to be almost now like another class. And I'm not...
If enough dudes are riding with handbrake.
Yeah.
Like, there needs to be more.
I don't
like,
think we should join the classes because then it pushes the sport. It'll push the footbrake guys to get a handbrake.
Exactly.
But that's if you're trying to get... I don't think everybody needs a handbrake.
No. And that's not what we're like, trying to push for. I don't think anybody really cares because I don't care that people have handbrakes on their bike because to me,
Ride your motorcycle how you want to ride.
Yeah, exactly. And to me, I'm like, I'm gonna bring something different than everybody else, and that's why I like having a handbrake. I like being different than what other people are bringing because I could do, almost all the tricks footbrake you can do, like hand drags, no handers and all that. If I really push myself, because I've done it all on my Dyna, way past in
2015. Yeah.
So to me, I'm like, but
time.
at the same time, I kind of feel you guys because I do like doing a lot of footbrake stuff too because, it's a different feeling to me because like
it's a different style
switching to my handbrake to my footbrake, I do feel like I don't know, like I guess right now because everybody has that. To me, I feel like I have to learn my footbrake and perfect my footbrake to be able to have a handbrake, I guess.
Exactly.
Is the way I looked
I'm
at
not
it.
opposed to getting a handbrake.
Yeah.
I want to learn everything that can be done on a footbrake, and then from there, go to a handbrake.
So Sammy,
further.
You're probably the most craziest footbrake dude I know.
Okay.
Like, what else can you do?
Yeah. Like, what's next? Have you done
What's
a helmet
next?
drag, right?
I've never done the helmet
You
drag.
tried to attempt it before.
I tried it once. I don't want to scrape that paint, man. That's nice paint.
For sure.
But
I'll give you a blank helmet to try it out. It's all right.
I guess like foot locking with like the handlebars with your feet, like locking your feet on your handlebars and then going from there, like doing what the Brazilians do. They are a whole new level. We are trash riders compared to them.
Yeah, but their bikes are also like little mini freaking dirt bikes,
Like yes,
125.
They look super fun. But imagine if we're able to take those tricks and then put them onto Harleys.
For sure.
That's going to open up the world of not like a lot of new tricks, but at least like 5 or 6 new tricks.
Yeah.
So then that's going to push it a little bit further. But then after that, what's the cap after that?
Yeah, for sure.
Because I know it's possible. I've gotten close to it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think the differences between the two, it's like freestyle compared to like just
technical
stunt riding. Because there's freestyle stunt riding, just kind of like, you're climbing up on your bike while you're doing handbrake shit and stuff like that, where we can take the Harley scene and really, take it to the level of the sport bike scene now. But I don't know. Like I feel comfortable with my handbrake because I'm confident to do a show and not run into the crowd. You know what I mean? And I know for sure that I can do certain tricks and be able to maneuver around a small area too.
And
so
if the lot's super slick and can't clutch up, you could hop
I
up
could
on the
still exactly, still clutch up.
So I actually asked this question in our Facebook group, and if you guys want to join, it's a Harley Stunt Riding Facebook group. It's going to be linked in the description. But Dante Arnold said, from a show perspective, you're advertising that a Harley is XYZ capable with keeping as many stock parts as possible. Handbrakes aren't very fun on Harleys compared to sport bikes. I also think that if you're going to run a handbrake, you better have some tricks to show for it. If you're rocking a handbrake, do the same sit down and knee knock wheelies everyone else is doing without one, you ain't shit. What are your guys' thoughts?
Who is that?
I don't know.
Someone
That's the point.
Someone.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like,
no.
can this dude ride?
I'm just messing around. Like,
yeah, he can wheelie.
That's the problem. Is like it's all so opinion based. Like
100%.
Like,
it really is.
I didn't catch the name, so I don't know if this is some Jason Pullen of UK or something.
The
but I'm just
underground.
saying, like,
burn them down.
This is all like it's all your opinion. You know, I don't give a shit what you think. This is the thing is like we're all different. Like, you know, you guys, no offense, like you guys are more lot riders, show riders. I street ride. Like to me, it's just like whatever you like to do for fun. Yeah. So like for you to say like you ain't shit unless you can do this XYZ. Like okay, cool. Like that's your opinion. Mm-hmm. But I mean, like I just ride it like, you know, I just ride it for fun, and you know, it is what it is. But like. I mean, it goes right back to what we were just talking about again is, you know, if you can't do whatever, what do you say? You can't, if you can't do,
I think he's saying if you
don't
have a
tricks,
handbrake,
but
right,
you
you're doing
can't.
the same tricks as a footbrake dude, then why do you even have a handbrake?
I mean, I agree.
And I actually wonder sometimes if that's why some guys won't put a handbrake on, because then you have more tricks you have to learn, and it's just you can only practice so many tricks and be good at so many tricks. That's why you guys are killing it at footbrake shit. But then the handbrake guys have more tricks to learn, so their skills are spread out more.
Yeah. I have nothing against handbrakes. I think it would be cool to see a competition of just handbrake riders, because obviously like Bruce, Brup, you guys have your own styles. Like Brian 636 has his own style, Jason Pullen has his own style, Nick has his own style. To see you guys all go after each other in a competition would be super cool. I want to see stuff that's like I usually will never see. You know what I mean? Because I like watching handbrake stuff. I think it's super cool watching Bruce drag his knee down the lot, throwing sparks everywhere. Watching him and Jason Pullen over the weekend, that was sick. But it's like at the same time, I really do. I enjoy the footbrake work. I'm trying to push the footbrake work. My main focus right now is not handbrakes. I have nothing against them. It's hard to compete against them just because it's hard. It's like a different class. And I'm going to say that because it's like you guys have a lot more tricks open to you. So
it gives you more time on the clock.
Yeah, it gives you more time, gives you another way to stand out. Because we only have so many tricks to do in a competition to make us stand out from one another. You know? What is he doing? Oh, he's doing a hand drag? All right, let me do a side saddle hand drag. You know, there's like, what else can you really do? You guys have some that you can do a turn around on your step plate and then go back down the other lot. That's gonna be really hard for us to do. So it's really hard to like call it. I remember the game of Stunt. You did like a knee drag. There was no way I was gonna be able to do that. You know what I mean?
Nobody was.
There was no way.
Nobody else had a handbrake.
No one else had a handbrake. So you guys can do certain tricks that we can't do, but everything that we do, you guys can do. So it'd be really cool to see two different classes. And I guess like what would that would come down to was just finding more riders.
Yeah.
No, finding more sponsors.
Yeah, we do need more money.
Money matters.
Well, I mean, how many dudes are running? Like, I guess there's a lot of dudes out there that are probably running handbrakes on Harleys that I don't know about. But like,
I know a lot.
Dudes that are
of these
traveling
guys.
and coming to comps is Bruce.
I mean,
Kevin,
the problem with like
Nick.
the problem with like the Harley, like the difference between Harleys and street bikes that it comes down to really though is like bike setup in general. Is I mean, I do want to mention like. To like kind of take the other side of like what you're saying with we can do everything you can do. I mean, you can talk about like fenders, you know, the guys that cut like the super short fenders. Yeah. There's no way you're helmet dragging on a close to stock fender. You know what I mean? Like,
no, absolutely.
And it comes down to at the end of the day, it is bike setup. You know, big motors, fenders, handbrakes. Like there are so many different variations of how you set up a bike though. Where, I mean. I don't know. That's what makes it so tough with like, you start setting up different classes. Well, it's like, you know, there should be stock motor classes, you know, handbrake classes, fully stock bikes, you know.
Well, there's
set up stunt bikes, but no handbrake. You know what I mean? It's like
there's different classes in all the other sports. You know what I mean? Like there's a 250 class. There's a
Is
2-stroke
there enough
class.
people to
There's
fill
a
it,
450
though?
there
class.
isn't. But then also at the
Like
same time, you know, like my other argument is how many people are going to be upset when, you know, let's throw out the GOAT of all time. Jason Pullen comes out on a competition, wins a handbrake competition, takes his handbrake off, and then goes wins a footbrake competition because I mean, like, I don't know if you guys know, like, the guy is a he's a
kill that
footbrake killer. You know what I mean? Like, he could take the bracket off and throw it in the trash, and he'll still outride most of the guys in footbrake. You know what I mean? Like, then it's like, oh, well, then you can't, you know, you can't ride both. And, you know what I mean?
It's funny you say that. So I actually won a competition like that. So
I remember that when you got your
yeah.
paint.
So I won my paint job first place because I had my bagger and it didn't have a handbrake on it at the time. And then
your Dyna did.
And then my Dyna
That's two
did.
different bikes,
So I
too,
competed
though, so
in
it's
both and won both. And so Simpson, that sponsored the event, was like, "Yo, how is that same guy winning this comp?" He's
I
like,
don't think that's a problem either.
Yeah,
"Well, it was a problem to them."
I was gonna say, I
Yeah.
bet there were people that.
Yeah, they
got
were
upset
like,
about it.
yeah, they were like,
Yeah,
"Well,
dude,
what the
it's-
hell?"
Dude, people are gonna get fucking upset about everything.
So
like, there's always gonna be somebody that's
yeah,
upset.
Yeah.
So Simpson was like, "You know, we'll cover this, but this can't happen again because that's ridiculous." You know, like
I mean,
they didn't say the rules, so I
if the
competed.
competition doesn't have a rule against it, then sorry, but like,
Yeah.
it is what it is, dude. I won both.
Yeah, so that's how I won the paint job. That's on my my bagger.
That's pretty sick. I
Yeah, it
did
was-
not know that.
Yeah, it was through Schultz Designs.
Yeah, that
and
shit's
yeah,
sick.
his paint
She's
jobs
like
are
4 years
expensive.
old,
Expensive.
still going.
Shit's sick, but I was pumped about it. You know,
So
I was
was
like,
I.
shit, fucking. But yeah,
But
I mean,
I mean,
get
like
what you're saying.
that's what I'm saying is like, you know, it's really cool that like Kruesi and Modern Culture came out with like a first, second, all the way down to fifth.
Yeah.
And so some other people, you know, Sammy got fifth. You know, like he still won some money. He was happy about it. But if there's like just a first, second, you know, first, second, third is normal, and it's like, you know, those guys are hitting first in one and then first in the next, and like, you know, I mean, there's gonna be more than a couple people upset about, you know, when you got 15 guys going out there, 20 guys going out there and ripping, and then
Then maybe that should be a comp
know.
rule.
no mixing up the two classes.
If you're gonna ride this class, you're in that class, and if you're gonna ride
You
this
register
class, you're
for
in that
one
class.
class.
yeah.
Which I mean, some dudes might get upset. There's
I
dudes
would-
coming from like across the country.
I
trying to
wouldn't
win as much
mind
money
that,
as they can,
though.
you know, but
Having two different
so here's,
classes.
Here's the next thing. So let's not throw out names of competitions or nothing, but if the payout for a competition is, you know, $1,500, $2,000, now what? You're separating that money and you're winning, you know, $700 off a competition. Like how
what I
much do
said,
you
we
really
need-
want to travel to go win a competition
That's
for
why I said we
$750?
need more money.
You know, I mean, that's
Yeah.
like,
and that's
those are
where
some of the issues you start
coming
running
into
into.
more
and
money
stuff,
is
but
true.
what,
Yeah.
go on.
To be fair, like in competitions, I think a lot of the people aren't going in to like they're looking as like the top 5 factors. Oh, I'm going to win money. They're going to get paid by sponsors to go out there. They're going to get other forms of income. You know, taking that chance that you might not win money. You know what I mean? So if you don't win money, you don't get money. That's on you. You know what I mean? I'm fine with taking. Let's say there's a $3,000 profit like for first place, and there's 2 classes. I'm fine with splitting that in half, and then just doing the top 3 on each one. Just because I want to see like,
Yeah.
just think about like that's gonna open up the show like even more, and that's gonna add way more.
I say 2 first place winners, 1 handbrake, 1 footbrake, and the other and 1 second place and 1 third
Yeah.
place.
And I mean, you could even
Overall.
do first
I'd
place
like
gets
to do a
cash,
trophy.
second place gets some part, third place
Yeah.
gets another part.
I like
least even
that
for
only
now, 'cause,
because
dude-
coming from me, I competed my freaking whole Harley life with with everybody, and you know, being judged because I had a handbrake was really rough. I used to go and compete no matter what, but
You're singled out though. You're
Yeah,
only
I know,
dude,
but-
you're singled out.
It was because I had a handbrake, but it's funny because I did a lot of footbrake stuff even within the comp, but at the same time I still got judged because of the handbrake, but it would be nice to have negatively, but it would be nice to have another class, because then it's like, okay, well, this is a handbrake class. Now you're competing against
exactly.
handbrake
And
guys.
And then it gives the judges something else to like
Yeah,
pay
for sure.
attention to and look at.
That way, it's not like biased judging or something.
When I feel like it'll open up more doors for the handbrake guys that we don't hear about, to be like, hey, I want to compete in this.
Yeah.
You know what really fucking blows? This Lexan P5 Advanced Smart Tire Pump. It blows up to 150 PSI. So when you guys see me giving you free smoke all day, it's because I got my Lexan P5 with me, and I'm able to change my tire anywhere I go. It's super compact, and it could fit in your backpack or your saddlebags, and it also doubles as a phone charger. It's super fancy, comes with a digital adjustable setting that you just set and go. So loosen the pressure and get yourself a Lexan P5. And you can use my discount code GETVERTICAL for 15% off Lexan-moto.com.
I think no matter what though,
It comes up to the comp to be enough payout.
You're gonna be biased, like even with the handbrake show, like. I mean, my point goes back to like how many times are you gonna split the classes to like handbrake and footbrake, or handbrake footbrake classes, and then you're gonna divide it again, because I'm gonna be honest, like I was at Sturgis the year Brian ran the brawl comp, and there's nothing he did wrong. There's nothing he like messed up on. He did footbrake, he did handbrake, he did circles, he did drifting, and he scored so freaking low that it was like, dude, how riding a Sportster do you even compete? Like there's no way. So now you got to divide it into Sportsters and Dynas and baggers and then handbrakes and no handbrake. At
Just because of the bike you're riding.
Right. At the end of the day, my point is, it's not like it's not even handbrake versus footbrake. If we're gonna do stock, let's do stock everything. You buy it off the showroom floor, you ride like stock, or it's a stunt bike class, and that's where my.
But there's so many stages in between.
But that's where my
that
discussion ends. Is like either it's got to be all or nothing, or like anything goes or not, like that, and because like I said, you just keep dividing it into different classes.
Well, okay, but what if you could have the same payout for both?
Let's be real. On the real,
like it could happen.
The payouts are already like.
Well, we have companies that are willing to back.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the last one. I'm talking about the last couple of years. Like the payouts in competitions are already hardly worth what we get paid for shows.
Yeah,
I'd rather. I mean, I'm not a competition.
I would rather ride.
The reason I don't like doing competitions is, I mean, I'm not the competitive type. I clearly ride streets more than lots. I just like to go ride for fun. But at the same time, like, I go do shows. We've done shows together. I would much rather go to a show where I get a paycheck at the end.
100%.
I could crash.
Yeah.
I could, like, my bike blow up. And guess what?
Still win.
I win.
Yeah.
I win almost the same payout as first place in some of these competitions. And I would much rather do that. But what I'm saying is, like, for the guys that do compete, my opinion, I mean, dude, you don't get paid enough. And for you to sit here and say, like, okay, we're going to divide the classes. All I see that is, okay, what little money you already get paid, we're dividing that in half, and then in half again if you want to do, like, you know, more classes.
Yeah.
And that to me doesn't sound reasonable. You do have an event that just happened that had a good amount of money. We can all agree.
Yep.
It all went all the way down to 5th, which is great. Something like that with good money could make that happen. But I'm saying from the last couple of years, 3 to 5 years, that like what we're talking about just isn't, in my mind, reasonable to win. You get first place, you get less than $1,000.
You spend that much to go to Florida and come back, and it's like
it just sounds
all of those last competitions.
To me, that doesn't sound worth it.
Think of this though: all the last competitions in the last couple of years were all free events. You could just walk up and look at the show.
They're not ticketed.
This last comp was ticketed.
True.
Which,
that's where the money comes.
Depending on the venue and the occupancy, you could raise the pot just off of that alone.
For sure. I don't disagree with you. I mean, I agree. Yeah. Like I said, I think at the end of the day, all the comps, all the way back for the last couple of years, the people doing it, I know everyone's doing it for the sponsors and they need to get seen and everything else. But at the end of the day, you're not getting paid shit to win that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, you're not getting paid shit to compete.
No, yeah.
But the guys have fun doing it.
For sure.
There's the fun times, but I mean,
I also have fun.
You gotta keep the
I showed up at the lot Friday night, half drunk, and I had more. I had more fun than anyone.
But I mean,
for the
you
5
know
minutes
that like riding in front of people, there's a different fucking like feeling to that.
Yeah,
like that feels.
Yes, I again, like, I mean, this is opinion based, and like you guys, like you guys clearly compete, and I don't. For me, for me, when we do shows, like for me, it's work, and like I enjoy it when it's over. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing when I throw a ride, like, and it's work for me when I'm in town. Mm-hmm. When it's over, like I stress through the whole thing. If we get chased by the cops, I gotta fucking take everyone to safety. Mm-hmm. If somebody breaks down, I gotta figure that stuff out. If something goes wrong, I gotta, you know what I mean? Like, that's on me. And for me, the whole weekend's kind of stressful for like my ride, beat the heat and stuff. Same thing at a show. Like, when something happens, like, that's on me. And at the end of the day, it's work. So I enjoy it, but it's work for me. And so when you say, like, you enjoy it in front of a crowd, that might, like, you might like getting seen more than I do, but like for me to do that work and then come home and get paid nothing for it, like I don't see satisfaction, and that's why I don't compete. And if you do, like, all power to you. You know, I'm not shitting on your, you know, what you do, but that's where I sit with
competing
it, you know?
also gives you a chance to put a resume together for
sure.
sponsorships. Like, this is where I've been all year. It's almost like shows, but it's status.
It's like
is
racing.
It's
like
yeah,
racing in a way
I-
because you get to prove that to your sponsors that
I'm the best.
you're doing good, and then you can show them that, hey, if you guys keep paying me monthly, I'm going to continue
To
taking
show up
first.
for
you know?
you.
My one issue with that is I get that, and I understand being seen. How do I say this nicely?
say it.
It's like the guys that do shows for free, though. Like, it starts to fall in the same category, and that's what I don't like. Is the guys that do shows for free that are just these raggedy ass, they've been riding for a year or less and want to go do a free show for Arizona Bike Week. They will call it as, oh, I'm getting, what do they say? Publicity and exposure. I'm getting exposure. And I could name some names of people that did it, you know, 3-4 years ago, and they'll tell you they're living in Chicago with that exposure shoved so far up their ass it did nothing. You know, like they rode Arizona Bike Week years ago for free. I'm getting free exposure. I broke my bike, but I need free stuff. Oh yeah, it would have been nice to get paid, but you're not. You got exposure, and it does nothing for them. And so like that's where I start to see the paths cross of like, I get it. You want to compete and try to make money, but if you're not really if you're not really in the top, like you're not really where you, how do I say this?
If you're not getting the payouts,
if there's
it's
20
not
people
fucking
and you know
worth
you're
it.
going to be under the last 15, you know what I mean? You're not in the high ranks or anywhere close to that skill level. Like I can look at certain people and say like, I'm on his skill level. I'm on his skill level. Honestly, you know. And if I can see that I'm not on their skill level, I think you're riding an event for free. And to me, the exposure and the sponsorship, being seen stuff just isn't worth it for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But again, it
the
comes to my
competitions are
opinion.
needed, though, dude.
Yeah.
They are
needed.
Well,
absolutely needed.
But I think if like we don't know what's going on in the background, those people that are competing could be getting paid from their sponsors to be there.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
we can't sit here and say, hey, you know, this guy's riding a event for free because, you know, speaking from experience, no matter where I go and what I do as far as competing, I'm getting paid. No matter
I can agree
And
with
by
that.
the way, we did not ride Arizona Bike Week for free.
Oh, I'm
this
not
year.
talking about you guys.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm just throwing it out there.
I'm not talking about, yeah. Sorry, I wasn't talking about anything this year at all,
Yeah.
actually. I've,
In the past.
had my run-ins with them. Clint Ewing. No. You want to put it on the table?
But let's go back to the topic. Handbrake versus Footbrake.
The topic.
The topic. Back to the Facebook, the Harley Stunt Riding Facebook group. Bradley Wall said, what has him wanting to learn handbrake now is the more versatile types of tricks in a show setting in smaller spaces. The crowd loves seeing circle wheelies and drifting mixed together. Handbrake opens it up a lot quicker and easier. Haven't seen a dealership complain or not book us because guys have handbrakes.
And I don't think anybody would.
Yeah.
Like
Me-
I think people are getting it twisted
Yeah.
about this. Like
me, you,
debate.
and Kruesi, we all ride really good together with
Yeah.
handbrakes. We're mixing it up, and that's what I really like about it because, like, I can park my bike with confidence and know that you guys are gonna come drift around me, and the crowd loves it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're stoked.
And then, you know, just circling a Harley is a different thing too. You know what I mean? And
there's
and,
dudes circling with Footbrake too.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's
So
gnarly. Like,
Gnarly.
yeah, and so I think a lot of people are mixing up the fact that it's not.
He did bring up a good point though that I wanted to bring up. I would rather see people work on being more well-rounded than this handbrake footbrake debate.
So are you getting a handbrake?
No.
No, what he's saying is like,
I'm not. I'm definitely not.
Not me, but I mean, I'm talking about you guys.
Well, no. But like, I would rather see people be dialed at wheelies and dialed at drifting.
yeah,
Instead of dudes that focus on one or the other. Like, there's some dudes that wheelie like fucking kings and can't drift to save their life.
Wow.
And then
or the opposite.
Why'd you point at
the other way? Yeah, I was like, you know what I mean? No, actually, you've gotten a lot better at drifting, Sam. You've gotten a lot better at drifting. I just had to take that chance.
Damn.
I had to take that shot. But I mean, I want to see more well-rounded riders, whether that be with a fucking handbrake or whether it be with a footbrake.
Off of what you just said, I think I want to see more people learn their footbrake first before they get a handbrake, because
like a stepping stone.
yeah, because they're
both.
1,000%.
Yeah, like you should have both.
If somebody comes to me ever, street bike, Harleys, I don't care what it is. We can all agree. I love my handbrake. I know footbrake, but if somebody comes to me and they're like, "Oh, I'm having a hard time trying to learn to wheelie. I'm gonna need a handbrake." I'm like, "Well, have fun learning on your own." Because I'm not teaching you. Like, I will go out there. You call me. I'm like, yeah, I'll be at the lot. You want to learn? Like, call me. I'll be at the lot. I'll come help you out. Any of these guys, I don't care where you ride. I still fuck with the sport bike guys. Still ride Harley more right now. But, dude, whatever it is, I'll come help people learn. But if somebody's like, yeah, I don't know footbrake, but I'm just going to learn handbrake, I'm like, cool. Have fun with that. Like, I agree. Like, it's the basics of learning on whatever bike. Like learn a footbrake, and then we'll move on to handbrake for sure. I don't think like only learning handbrake and doing handbrake tricks is like the way to go. But yeah, I think you should definitely.
So what makes the stigma that handbrakes are like not cool?
I guess people consider it like.
Cheating.
I don't even like almost like cheating, even though it's not, because I could not really.
I wouldn't say it's cheating, but it definitely helps
Okay.
when you can't sit down wheelie.
Yeah.
You could hop on like wherever you're
yeah.
at.
that's
We've
fine.
had
Yeah.
slick
Can't
lots
sit
at
down.
our shows, and
We've
it's
had
like
shitty lots.
yeah, and I'm like clutching up no problem because I've got the weight
Tahoe.
back there. Yeah.
Dude, Tahoe this last year, the lot was glass. Like, it was an ice rink. The only dude that could clutch anything up in there was
Nick.
Ain't Shit Nick.
Yeah.
And
I mean, Stunt House.
The donut pit.
My
Yeah,
favorite.
the donut pit in Tucson, terrible.
Horrible.
Yeah.
My favorite thing on a street ride is when it rains. I'm gonna be honest. Like
You just
a
see all the
light- a
foot
light
bike dudes
drizzle.
just sitting there.
Dude,
like
I could tell you.
he loves it.
I could tell you like 20. It was like 2018,
I bet.
2019 in Houston. We were supposed to ride at noon. It was raining. At like 2 o'clock, I tell my boy Trey, that's put on the ride. I'm like, yo, I'm leaving. Like, I'm taking the ride
I'm
with me, and
riding.
I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sitting around the house all day just because it's drizzling out. He's like, it's supposed to stop at like 4. I'm like, nah, we're out of here. And so we like the whole ride left. He's like, okay, we'll go. The whole ride leaves. We go to get on the freeway, dude. People are whoa, this tire's spinning. I swear to God, I have a tire that looks like a drag tire. No, you couldn't tell what tire it was by looking at it. It had no, like, just flat.
Shiny.
And I'm like, get the fuck out of my way. Bah! Dude, it keeps all the squids from wheeling. It keeps all the power wheelies from down. Like,
True.
It's my most favorite thing. Mm-hmm. And so in that aspect, I do love, like, having one when you need one.
Yeah.
But I mean, I clutch up footbrake plenty, like, when, otherwise. But it's definitely nice to just have it when you need it and type stuff, especially, in those occasions.
Yeah, slick.
With the whole what makes it not cool? I think it's just like
I think it's just a
don't know.
culture thing with
I
Harley.
don't
Yeah,
know.
it's just like a stigma people have.
It's
like,
just the old school
I don't
Harley
like
thing,
it.
I guess. Like the purist thing.
I think
Right.
you kind of cross out like I feel like the handbrake is like the line of like you cross over from like this is an original Harley Davidson motorcycle, and then you cross over the line of this is now a stunt bike.
I think that's
Some
what
weird
it is.
imaginary
Yeah.
line of like,
Yeah.
I mean, okay,
Yeah.
whatever.
I could be guilty
Fully
of that.
stunned.
That's the way I think.
It's like it's almost like you could almost compare it to like, dude, there's plenty of guys out there like with no cages. I don't know why you ride no cage, but it like has this certain aspect of like, oh my god, he's riding no cage like that. He's riding on the, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you're like, I don't know why you would, but like he's doing it.
Certain level of sketchiness.
Yeah.
Okay, I seriously cannot be the only one that does not trust insurance companies. Don't you feel like they never pay you what you deserve for your accident? That's why I always call Law Tigers. They're specialized motorcycle attorneys. Yes, there's a difference between motorcycles and cars. That's why you need to call Law Tigers, because they are the experts and you are not. And what's dope about them is you don't have to pay anything out of pocket. It comes out of your settlement. So if they don't get you paid, then they don't get paid. And the best part is once you call them, they take care of everything for you. You don't have to think about it at all until you're signing the paperwork saying case closed. Don't let these insurance companies screw you over. Call Law Tigers and tell them that Drea sent you. If you're local to Arizona, call my boy Jay. I'll leave his info in the description below.
I could only like speak for myself on this one. I don't want to put one on just because like when I discovered Harley wheelies is when I discovered this like stunt scene. So like I didn't like. I mean, I've seen videos of dudes like probably Jason Britton on TV and shit, you know, but I didn't know anything about like the scene. So when I saw Unknown back in the day riding wheelies, you know, I was like, oh shit, like they're riding wheelies on Harleys. Like I want to do that. And my whole focus was just wheeling Harleys. Like I didn't know about this whole subculture and like, you know, this whole thing about it.
Yeah.
And they're not riding handbrakes at all. And then I got into it, met Kruesi and like met all these dudes up here, and nobody was talking about putting a handbrake on the Harley. So it was never like a thought until I started meeting like Kevin and like, or Becca, you know, riding sport bikes and they're riding handbrakes and they get Harleys, and then Kevin puts one on his Harley, and then, you know, it's like I didn't know about that whole thing until pretty recently.
I would consider there to be like three styles.
That was like 2017.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, like three styles of like stunt riding. You have your aggressive street riding, which would be like East Coasting. And then you have like the slower, technical, deeper fender cut. Because you did bring that up in like an argument, like deep fender versus long fender. You have like your slower, technical, more harder tricks would be like Tazinski, me, or like Dom. And then you have your handbrakes. And like those would be like those three different styles of riding.
I could agree.
If that makes any sense at all.
Yeah.
So I don't think I have nothing against handbrakes at all. It's just a whole different style. And a lot of people, what Trent just said, saw and learned that Harleys can wheelie from like an unknown video. I'm guilty of that. That's how I figured out how a Harleys can wheelie. So that's what I like kind of chased when I got into the scene. That's what I wanted to do. And then I saw Dom style and I got into that. Like I still want to like conquer the Footbrake down and push the Footbrake as far as possible and then start doing handbrake stuff. Because eventually it's going to get boring.
Well, I'm the opposite. I saw a handbrake guy when I first started. So that could be why.
Same here. Jason
There we
Bowen.
go. We solved the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
guess it's who inspired you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have been doing this a lot longer than both Sammy and I have. So you guys have been around.
But at the
a whole
same
lot
time, you got
longer.
guys like Seabear that does not have a handbrake on his back.
I think it just
Bagger.
comes down to
Yeah.
it's different. Like Harley stunt riding came from a different place.
I get,
Yeah.
well, I guess
Which then again, but there's also dude.
But
It's hard to say that.
but
Exactly.
Seabear
It's just-
didn't have a handbrake really on his sport bike too, right?
But that comes down to your style
is
of stunt
extreme.
riding. He's aggressive street rider.
Yes.
He's
yes.
not slow,
That's
Nailed
technical.
true.
it, dude.
That's true. Yeah, he
Trent's kind of slowing down, kind of like
he has been always been on the streets. Yeah.
Trent's not more like streets so much. He's more lot and kind of learning the harder like elbow
Nasty
drags,
wop bums.
no
Yeah.
hand, like no hand or stuff like that, going slower. So it's just all in the style that you're
Yeah,
pursuing.
it's just a different style.
Yeah. For
And
sure.
then also, I put my I used to at least like back in the day, we put our bikes in shows. Like we would ride to the show and then put
Yeah.
our bike in a bike show.
After you loop it out.
Back after I loop it out, yeah, like build a bike for Bike Week, you know, and
Yeah.
it would be like a stunt bike,
show
but
bike.
clean. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
And it's
for
like
sure.
it's really hard to run that many brake lines and all this shit and make it look crispy clean like a Harley should.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
So it's definitely a purist thing.
No,
for
I
me,
I
at least.
agree because there is a limit. Like I still want mine to still kind of look clean. Like Jason takes his stunt bikes to a whole different level. Like
Whole
with the
new
step
level. Yeah.
plate, Like to me,
He's got
I would
fucking
not.
foot hook
like-
spots coming
like,
out of every
he
angle.
doesn't care what it looks like.
Yeah.
He wants it
He's
to perform.
fully functional.
Yeah,
Like,
so-
he's got pegs that fold out.
Yeah, fold out and like
Yeah.
he can hang on to, and like even has a foot brake on his forks.
Yeah.
For like high chairs, no handers, you know, so
Insane.
stuff like
Running a
that.
thumb throttle and a twist.
Yeah, so
Both.
Thumb throttle on that thing?
Dude, there's
So-
a twist
Got
and a
both.
thumb. He could lock it out. It's so
For
fucking
switchback
crazy.
wheelies.
That man is
yeah, so I
insane.
guess, you know, like I guess I could see where you're coming from with the foot brake compared to like fully like stunning out like his bike, because I wouldn't want my bike to look like that. That's
Yeah.
just me, but
That's
I
your
haven't.
style.
That's just my style.
Fucking Ryan won't let me have a bike that looks like shit too. So it's like,
You got to maintain.
Yeah,
It's gotta
you're
be
asking
clean.
him invited
yeah,
to shows.
it's boot camp out there. Dude.
Yeah.
You know, it's like-
Your bike's
Clean your damn
slappered.
bike.
yeah. Hey, well, it's not
uninvited.
parking in front of the tent. You know what I
No.
mean? It's-
I run mine just clean enough for shows.
Yeah.
But also, I don't
For
give
sure.
a fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, like this 05 that I'm building, dude. I have
Yeah.
like ARP everywhere. You know, every fucking bolt.
It'll be done in 2027 if
I'm
anyone
just
wants to
waiting on
sponsor
paint
Trent.
right now. Yeah.
when the new electric Harley will be out.
yeah, before this bike's finished.
Yeah.
I think that the thing is like I feel like the street bikes had this whole thing years ago too.
I think it
You-
came
you
from a
didn't
different
really-
place though.
Yeah, but you didn't really see
The shade.
as much of a separation in the sense that like I feel like with the thing with the Harleys is no matter what, like you're not going fast, like in the sense of
The 100%.
you're only doing
yeah.
first gear.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's clicking fourth gear on a Harley doing
Yeah.
wheelies. You know what I mean? Like you're doing mostly first gear. So like the guys that ride the streets are also in the lots and they're like all mixed. The thing with the street bike scene, why it was kind of just divided and
It was
nobody
the
really-
dudes doing
nobody-
fucking fifth gear spreaders.
well,
down
it
the
was
freeway.
divided like in the
And
sense
that
of like
dude doesn't
they
have a
didn't
foot brake. You're like, damn.
they just didn't mesh as much
doesn't have a handbrake.
because there was the lot riders who had 3 calipers on their handbrake with a 70 tooth doing, you know, standing up on top of their forks doing circles. And then you have the guys on the freeway doing third, fourth gear, probably have, you know, little hand control, you know, handbrake control and stuff. And it was more divided in the sense of like, they did their thing, they did theirs, and they didn't mesh. Like the guys doing 40 miles an hour on the freeway didn't go to the lot.
Yeah.
And the lot riders didn't go riding on the
Mash the
streets.
freeway, yeah.
So they kind of, it was two separate things, and it was like definitely two separate things. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like, I think the thing with the Harleys though is you do have like, you know, you do have like Dom and I and, you know, whatever else, like all the 3 different styles you're talking about in the same spot, riding the same competitions or shows. And so everyone's like so intertwined, like, cause I'll go ride the streets to an event and then, you know, ride a show or something. And it's like, you know, everyone's so kind of intertwined. I think that's where you start almost, you know, butting heads and kind of rubbing shoulders with the same people so much that it kind of becomes this discussion of why is it so torn, and or why is it so not cool, and why don't you get one and I have one, you know what I mean? And I think that's why there's like, you know, me and Trent talk about it all the time. We have no real beef about it. At the end of the day, I'm not going to change his opinion. He's not going to change mine.
Yeah.
But we're always together, you know what I mean? Like, and we're always doing stuff together,
friends.
you know, right. And like I said, like, I think back in the day, you know, you talk about 10, 15 years ago, you didn't have these street riders hanging out with lot riders so much and doing the same events or shows or, you know, in the same places. And I think that's somewhat to do why you have so much kind of talk about it, I guess, or not even real serious arguments about
I
it.
mean,
but just
there's like some people that do take it really serious, and I don't
Yeah.
understand it.
Yeah.
Like these dudes are like, handbrakes on Harleys are gay. It's like, no, it's just different.
Yeah.
You
But I
know,
think
it's
a lot
like-
of those people they're
A lot of them
uneducated.
can't even ride though. too.
They're uneducated.
Jesus,
I had
Kevin,
a
you're
feeling-
fired.
I had a feeling you were going to do that.
You're
And-
fired.
Handbrakes.
It's all good.
You're good.
Handbrakes, dude.
Can't hold on to his beer, but he can grab a break.
I've had 1.5, all right? Not even. Look, it's still right here. I've had
Jesus.
one.
No,
It's
you're
all
good.
good.
It's not touching any of the electrical.
It's all good.
But
As long as it's still recording.
I think a lot of them don't know, like how to even use a brake, even just foot brake. A lot of them probably don't even know how to wheelie.
Yeah.
Are the ones that are
Like
talking.
Joey's argument, if you hate on handbrake, you should be able to use one.
Exactly.
I don't hate on them.
Yeah.
I don't know how to use a handbrake.
I've tried
I don't
using
know my
handbrakes.
grom, and it was.
And most of the
They're
people,
sketchy.
most
Never
of the,
used it. They are, dude. They feel super sketchy.
I don't
It's
like
so
it.
weird to say because I feel like they're easy to learn. Like once you, if you, like I said earlier, is I will only teach somebody to learn footbrake first and then a handbrake.
Yeah.
And I feel like once you have the footbrake control, you know kind of the
when to
motion
push
of-
the brake.
You have the
idea.
motion of the ocean of like
When-
throttle control and like clutching up and everything else. And all you have to do is instead of this, you're doing this.
It's a different
cover
handbrake.
like it's easy to kind of.
you're covering a handbrake, and then
I'll grab a handful of both. Is what I'll do.
Don't do that.
Yeah, just.
You'll end up like,
We know I can mousetrap.
oh,
I mean, I think it's. I don't know. I think you guys would pick it up. Like, I don't think it's the hardest thing or anything. I don't think it's like with the whole discussions that ever happen, street bike, Harleys, whatever. Like, it's on this side of the couch. It's never a flex for us.
Yeah.
We're never the ones who are like, you need a handbrake. Get a
Yeah.
handbrake. You're fucking Gabe. You don't have like. I don't care if you ever get one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not
And
a flex.
I don't
Like,
care if
I don't
you
think
take yours off,
You would
dude. Like, I
honestly,
don't-
the both of you, if we put a handbrake on your bike, you would learn it within the week. I'm confident of that. Like, it's not a flex in any sort of like, you know, in that sense. I would, at the end of the day, I would love it if everyone got one. If you don't get one, cool, good on you. But
Yeah.
what do you think would happen if everyone got on a handbrake? How would it change the scene?
It'd be crazy.
Do you think that the scene would progress a lot more? Because I feel like we're
yeah.
stuck.
Yeah, because, you know, me and Bruce wouldn't be the only ones out there doing, you know, the same old tricks. We'd have to be learning some new stuff, or else people wouldn't want us out there.
yeah,
But I mean, like, these guys would kill it. It is what is it like?
yeah. I think it would definitely push it to a different level that we don't even know about. Because like
Yeah.
first gear is what we do now. I feel like a lot more people would be in second, third, mobbing.
Especially like the younger generation. Like I've always said, like, you know, the best people to teach and the easiest people to teach and the guys that pick it up the fastest are the 16, 17-year-old kids that don't know what it feels like to have to heal a broken arm or don't know what it feels like to high side a drift yet.
No fear.
So like, right. So to teach them and like get them to like progress is And so, I mean, you get like these, everyone on a handbrake, it would be wild how many people just would progress and get crazy. But
Different kind of
I mean,
tricks that
yeah, like-
people will make up.
Like Paulie, East Coast.
Yeah.
He progressed crazy.
Yeah.
Even Jackson has been progressing crazy. I taught him how to do no-handers, and I swear to God, like a month later, he was doing double hand drags. I'm
Yeah.
like, you shithead. Like,
I
don't
mean,
get
dude,
it.
we had a guy on that I taught around here, and he was 17, 18, and then, man, like, dude, within a year and a half, like on street bikes wise, back then I was decently good, but within a year and a half, I'm teaching him how to do stuff that I can't even do, and I'm like, this is nuts. Like, I mean, I wish I started when I was, 17, 18 years old. You just don't, even when you get hurt, you just jump back up. You're like, oh yeah, it's just a, twisted ankle. I'll still ride the rest of the day. And you're like, I'm like, oh dude, I'm out for a week. But it's like, yeah, it would be, like I said, it'd be crazy if everyone got one. But,
Yeah. That's why I'm like such a believer, I guess, and I try to push handbrakes so much because I feel like it would progress. I just want to see the Harley Stunt scene grow, and I feel like we're stuck, and I think that's it.
Well,
and not only that, I feel like it would get more people would get more shows because they could ride in smaller spaces. Like, not many people are clutching up a bagger like I can in a small stunt spot with my handbrake.
And as small as you.
Yeah, exactly.
Another thing too, though. See, you're the opposite from us. Like, we don't care if people get a handbrake. You're like, get a handbrake.
No,
get a
I'm
handbrake.
not. No, okay.
I hope none of you get a handbrake.
Yeah.
Because then I'm out.
And see, and see.
No.
Then I'm gonna
The
be at
only
the
reason
back
why
of
I
the
say
pack.
get a handbrake is because if you get a handbrake, you're going to stand out.
I know,
if you get one
But
now,
if everybody has one, you're not.
yeah,
gonna
that's
stand
why
out.
you need to get one now, Trent.
But then the Footbrake, Trent,
So you can stand out. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you wait until everyone's on board, then you're just gonna blend in.
But what if he doesn't want to stand out? He just wants to.
You're riding
I
a
mean,
ride.
that's
Yeah.
fine, but I'm just saying if
That's the
you're
thing.
my friend,
I think
I'm gonna tell you
I know,
the truth.
but I think you go into wanting people to get handbrakes for no
Duh.
reason. You just need a.
But there's also like handbrake, footbrake or not, riding shows, riding comps, it also depends how you put it all together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
No,
you
I agree.
can't put together a solid show, it doesn't matter if you have a handbrake or not.
Yeah.
You
No,
know
I
what
agree
mean?
with you.
So it's like there's a certain flow and style and comfortability you have to have with your bike too.
Yeah.
But can you
Which
imagine?
is why I don't think everybody putting a handbrake would progress the sport. There's other ways the sport will progress with like shows and comps, as you know, like
I think
with more
it's-
support for
I think
shows
it
and
is
comps.
progressing currently, just slower than it would if everyone got handbrakes.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, tricks-wise,
to slightly
yeah.
agree with what you're saying.
Trick wise,
right?
yeah.
I'd like, you know,
I'm thinking industry
like
is like the
there's
sport.
there's still stuff that you like. I'd say every other month, every month you see something that like you haven't seen before with a foot brake, and it's always some crazy shit, you know, getting crazier and
But
crazier.
we've
But
seen it all.
it's slowly kind of.
No, yeah, 100%.
It's kind of getting to the point
Yeah.
where, like you said, you know, you're running out of stuff to do.
There's a cap.
Right.
Every
But-
new
and-
trick is just a variant of
Right.
a trick.
That's
Can
already
I
Has
have-
something added on.
Yeah.
to it.
Right? Can I head drag? Okay.
But-
Can I head drag side saddle? Maybe.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's like you're slightly right, and,
But-
and you are getting to that spot. I think I agree with you in the sense of it would progress faster
Yeah.
if everyone
No, he
you know
is.
kind of got on the same level. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really
I
care if
feel-
everyone does. You know, at the end of the day,
I feel like all the tricks that have been done on the Harleys have been done. So like it's not really a new trick because it's been done. Not on the Harley,
Yeah.
but it's been done.
Exactly,
You know,
yeah.
so that's why I
mean,
look
what
at it.
hasn't Poland done on his Harley?
Yeah, exactly. So he's done it all. Stoppies, all that. So it's like there's so many tricks that are just like have not been done that I mean could do without even a handbrake because you can still do stoppies. There's so many tricks out there, you know.
I saw an interview of Sit Down Steve where he said that handbrakes on Harley would be the death of the sport because that's what happened in the street bike scene. So what happened?
death with this. I don't know why that.
Well,
I
I
think
mean,
because shit slowed down
if you look at
speed.
I mean, XDL used to throw this huge comp for all the sport bike guys, and that's not happening anymore. I don't know what happened, but
I
mean-
think the with what you're saying with if that's what Steve said is like it killed the sport. I don't know if I wouldn't say the handbrake would kill the sport. I think eventually, no matter what, kind of like with what you said with the foot brake, even with the handbrake, eventually you're going to plateau. You know what I mean? It goes with anything. You know, I mean, there's like look at any you know, I don't watch skateboarding or anything like that, but it got to a point where there's only people are doing new tricks maybe every month, maybe every 2 months, and then eventually you might see a new one every year. But like it gets to a point where it plateaus, and I mean you can only do so much with what you got. But,
Exactly.
yeah,
I mean, like I don't think it's like the death of the sport. I think where he's talking about is it got to the point where everyone's gotten a handbrake and everyone's doing street rides, and the new kid that's been riding for 6 months is power wheeling with a handbrake and wrecking into people on rides now, and like you kind of get into that, like, but I mean, at the end of the day, everything's gonna plateau at a certain point, and either people are gonna just keep doing it for fun or keep doing it for work, or they're not. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Do you think people will be pushing foot brake tricks as hard as they are now if everyone had a handbrake?
No.
no.
That's why I'm grateful for you guys being so damn stubborn because you guys are really pushing the foot brake shit
Because
for the Harleys.
Yeah, I feel like people will focus mainly on handbrake
It
tricks.
might be good.
And
It
is
good
not
for
as
the scene.
much
I don't know if I
foot
100% agree with that. I think less people might, but I think like again back to the sport bike scene, like you still see guys like only doing foot brake stuff, and like even
They're not head
25
dragging.
years after the sport had started, like still like killing foot brake game and learning foot brake stuff and doing foot brake, you know. But again, I think like it got to the point where it plateaued, where everyone's done everything, you know, with street bikes. But I think like let's just for easy numbers' sake say there's 100 guys doing foot brake stuff and like really trying to like do a new trick and up one another, and then if they all got handbrakes, maybe 75 of them would kind of focus more on handbrake, and you still got the same 25. But like I think it would progress the foot brake side of it less, but you're still progressing the handbrake side of it more. Those same guys with that drive are going to carry that over to handbrakes and, still push that side of it. But yeah, I mean, you definitely have those guys that are eager and like they're hungry for like learning new stuff. Like I would assume that if they got a new piece of equipment to help them do more tricks, they're still going to have that drive, and it's not going to just like, I'm done with this because
what would happen if you got a handbrake?
I'd crash a lot. I would say a lot of my tricks would be easier with a handbrake because of that, the focus of trying to keep your foot mounted onto the bike versus just free floating would make it so much easier if I just had a handbrake. Like just side saddle in general, just going like side saddle, throttle, hand drag. That'd be so much easier if I had a handbrake because then I don't have to focus on putting my weight to the right side, extending, just to be able to not loop out.
No, I agree. I like when I started doing side saddle, just when I go to move over, so I'm not focused on I'm picking up, I'm covering my handbrake and I like.
You'll find yourself.
I almost use that until I get over, and then once I'm over, I'm like on my foot brake and I'm using that for sure. So like I agree, like you can.
We have to do. I find myself doing the same style as like a lot of handbrake people, where they'll go up, they'll drop back on the wheelie, and then the bike will start to fall down, and then you transition over to your next trick, and then you drop the bike back again. You see a lot of handbrake people do that, like FZs and 636 killers, like they'll all do that. I find myself doing that with handbrakes. I mean, with my foot brake. So it's just like, I guess it's like on your style ride. I think it would make my riding 1,000 times easier for certain tricks, but I also kind of like the fact that it's also difficult that I don't have that, because it's like I know how difficult that trick is. I know how hard it is going to be for the next person.
Do you think that's what makes it attractive to not have a handbrake, because it is harder to use your foot brake?
I would say part of me like yes, a little bit.
I don't think it's harder to use your foot brake. I think like
in certain tricks, yes.
Right. I don't think it's harder to use your foot brake, but I do think it makes doing certain tricks harder.
It gives
to get
you a
to,
handicap.
for sure.
Yeah,
but I don't think, like, if you're talking about like handbrake versus foot brake, again, I think you should learn the basics of foot brake and never forget that. Like I love using my handbrake for stuff, but I still do foot brake stuff. You know what I mean? Like I still use it and like make sure I know how to do it, whether it's on my street bike or my Harley or whatever. Like I still have that in me, but I don't think.
So then would you say you should be able to sit down, clutch up before you could stand on the seat, clutch up?
Yeah. I have always, what do you mean?
So like if you have a handbrake, you should be able to sit down, clutch up.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think, like I said, I don't mean to call it the basics because that's what you guys use, and obviously you use it better than I do, but like I think foot brake is the basic stepping stone of like stunt riding, in the sense of like this is where you go and then you move on to this and then you move, you know what I mean? And like if
fundamental,
if you can't learn to fucking use your foot brake and like ride an on street bikes idle wheelie, but like a balance point on a Harley, if you can't do that, you shouldn't be moving forward in a sense, you know what I mean? So like
to Sammy's point, I like the little like handicap that only having a foot brake gives you.
Yeah.
Do you, I got a question. So do you think that we lost a lot of Harley riders from getting bored of doing the same thing?
I think a lot of them ate shit for the most part.
Point.
I would say yes, because
I'm just wondering, because if you get to the lot and you've gotten to the point where you finally got that hand drag you've been wanting to do, and then you do it for so long.
Everybody that I know that stopped riding Harleys, though, that like started stunt riding Harleys and stopped, they either wrecked real bad and either like broke themselves off or couldn't afford to fix their bike because Harleys are expensive. Or they just like moved on to other things in their life.
That's actually
because like nobody that I know that stopped riding ever got past like a hand drag.
Yeah, because the reason why I asked this because I noticed that a lot of Harley riders have stopped riding. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I get it, but I'm just wondering if that has anything to do with it, because I have fun on my Harley, and that's the reason why I have a handbrake. It's because I can only do so many foot brake tricks so many times. I'm like, I want to do something different when I come into the lot. Like, I'll do a rev limiter coaster, or Yeah, but at the same time, I still do the same amount of tricks that I do now.
And I mean, also, I can't do every trick with a foot brake. So I mean,
No, for
I'm
sure.
still learning.
No,
foot brake
and
tricks,
I'm not
like,
saying
maybe when I get there,
Yeah.
I'll want a handbrake or want to
For
do
sure.
that. But like right now, I'm like,
Yeah. Well, I'm just
content
wondering
having
for the
a foot brake.
people that have quit. I'm just wondering, like, if that had a like, oh, this is boring. You know?
I would-
run
yeah.
out of tricks.
I think you guys should all get back to the fundamentals of riding
Yeah.
streets. That's what I think.
I would say yes
Maybe
to
you
your
guys would
question.
stop, competing and have fun in the streets.
Yeah, you kind of got to go back because like I got bored of riding because
I like riding lots because I like riding shows.
Exactly. So it's like how many tricks can you do? And there's a cap, and you get
Yeah.
bored of doing the same stuff. I get bored sometimes. Me and Drea talked about this like when we did a podcast. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people, I wouldn't say like quit, but they like get tired of doing the same things, and it's like, all right, what else is there to do?
Yeah.
And so like I got into like a different hobby. Like I took a step back, but I didn't quit.
What'd
But
you
then,
do?
like,
Dancing?
Sammy
got
dances
into dancing,
now.
and then
Yeah.
Sammy dances now.
yes sir, and then I guess like you have to find your own spark. Like why
Yeah.
did you start riding again?
For
Like,
sure.
You're not progressing is amazing. I think that's why
Yes.
everyone loves riding a lot is because like
You
no better
progress.
feeling than seeing someone like even teaching someone or even you
Yes.
yourself doing a new trick.
I agree with you.
So once you stop learning new tricks as much because there's a cap eventually.
Yeah.
GoPro shut off.
Oh.
That was a good tune too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
I guess like you gotta refine it. Like, all right, I'm here. I'm riding with my friends.
Yeah.
All right, but like, let's see what else there really is. That's kind of like when I took a step back. I kind of wanted to get back into riding. Like, how far can I push this?
Yeah.
And I think the same should go for handbrakes. I want to see because I don't really handbrake world is like a whole new world for me.
Yeah.
I love watching the videos. I want to see how far you guys can push the handbrake
No,
because
for
that would
sure.
be wild to see.
Yeah.
That's why I almost kind of want to see a competition of just handbrakes. And be
Well,
like, I want to see shit.
they need more competition.
I'm not really much competition because I can't do some of the things that handbrakes.
Maybe
There
you
needs to be
could,
more
dude.
dudes riding handbrakes.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
100%.
But
there needs to be
before
way
we start a class, another class.
There's
for
that
it,
guy
for sure.
in I think France that rides with Baldini.
Yeah, he's nuts.
You see him?
That's what I
He's
would like to
fucking
see.
nuts.
He's doing
but
like
He's
sport
got a
bike tricks.
sportster, so don't count.
more.
Don't count.
I don't believe that either.
That's
Yeah.
another
He rides
podcast,
a
dude.
sport
I think
I'm
I
getting
think
Gary on that
Foley.
one.
No, what's his name? Filthy
amazing
Filthy
player.
Phil. I think he actually plays pretty good at a comp with a Sportster. So
Yeah, he was
don't-
nasty.
Yeah.
on that
The one
fucking
time in
Sportster.
Phoenix, yeah.
yeah.
Miller's dope
When he
too.
cracked his frame
Broke his frame,
and then
swapped everything
frame
over.
swapped in the
Oh
fucking parking
yeah, yeah. I
lot.
remember that. Yeah, yeah.
Gnarly.
So I mean, I don't disagree with the bike, but I get where he's coming from too, because the baggers did when they came out with the baggers got a lot of attention, and I think people rated the baggers pretty good.
They're
Yeah.
overrated for sure.
Now they are,
Yeah,
yeah.
What
So
do you mean overrated?
that could be another topic too.
Overrated because you can't do as much with them. Like the wow factor
They look,
is kind of.
yeah, it's the wow factor.
Like,
Yeah.
still
but-
cool.
And
Hey,
that's-
no, it's sick
so
as fuck.
cool.
I like my bagger and whatever, but
and
like
that's definitely why it's a show bike.
Yeah.
It's like you go and put on a
people,
show.
The
Yeah.
people that have seen it are like, okay, I've seen a bagger do it,
Yeah.
but you're just not doing as much on a
Yeah,
bagger as you are a dyna. But for the people that haven't seen it, they're like, holy shit, that's a bagger doing it.
yeah,
Like it's still sick for the people that haven't seen it, but same thing. It's like there's less and less and less people that haven't seen it that are going to events and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, I saw this guy last
Like,
year.
all
doing
right,
a
right
bagger
on,
with
like,
it.
yeah,
Which levels the playing field too,
Right.
yeah.
because that used to be the Dyna. It was like,
Yeah.
oh man,
Yeah.
Dyna's
It's a
wheelie.
Dyna, yeah.
Like, oh, is that a Sportster? It's
Harley
like,
Yeah.
can't
no,
do a wheelie.
yeah. Or if they saw it, they're, oh,
I had
that's a Sportster.
somebody
And it's like,
tell
dude, no,
me
this
that
isn't
they're
a
like,
Sportster.
is that a Sportster with Dyna tins on it?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's a
No,
Dyna.
it's a Dyna.
And I'm
Yeah.
like,
I would
do that.
Said, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I've had,
883.
dude, I've had people say,
883 bucks.
is that a Dyna with a bagger fairings on it?
Yeah.
Dude,
I would also say yes.
Yep. Whatever you say.
This
yeah.
is a
That's
636,
Yeah, no,
buddy.
it's a Buell.
that's funny.
All right, so what's our consensus before we wrap up?
My consensus is you guys should all just ride streets and have fun. Fuck the handbrake, foot brake.
I'm a lot lizard.
My consensus: I want to see more well-rounded riders. Handbrake or foot brake, ride your ride, but do both.
I think we
Definitely.
just need
Be
to
good at
end
wheelies,
the
be good at
stigma.
drifts.
Like, let's stop
Yeah.
talking shit and be friends.
Well, I think with the people that are talking shit about handbrake people, you should really educate yourself on handbrake and footbrake. Like, don't talk shit if you have not tried either or. You know what I mean? Like, learn how to do footbrake before you even talk shit about. Because it's most of the people that are talking shit about handbrakes don't even know how to ride a wheelie. So learn how to stunt ride, because it might humble you a little bit, you know? Because people talk smack because they haven't even tried both.
Yeah,
they're just following people like, oh, Sammy's a freaking footbrake guy. Oh, I love Sammy.
It's all your fans.
I'm a
dude.
footbrake guy.
Yeah. And then now he's a footbrake guy. And it's like, you know,
Yeah.
I think, you know, and I think it's most of those people, because I've not heard one negative thing from anyone that knows how to ride, like a good rider. If I hear it from them, it'd be a different story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
sometimes I just wish somebody like Sammy or somebody else would get a handbrake, so all they're like, footbrake guys. Oh,
That's why
I gotta find somebody else now.
damn,
I'm a
where's my-
different person.
Yeah.
Your dreams crushed.
yeah. No, for sure. But yeah, definitely educate yourself, because you know, a lot of people don't know what it takes to learn that kind of stuff, and it's not cheating, it's not easy, but you know, it definitely opens up more.
It opens up a whole new world of
exactly.
tricks.
And just because I have a handbrake does not mean I don't have a footbrake still, because I still, you know, I know you guys are mind blown how I do a rev limiter coaster, you know, with
It's only because you have a handbrake.
yeah, but it's only
You could-
because I
that's
have
why I
a
can't do
Doing a rev limiter coaster with only a handbrake would be fucking hard.
It is. I don't know. I don't know how
A lot
junkyard.
of this,
I think.
like,
Who
Wait.
does a rev limiter? Well, sport
Junkyard?
bikes do it, huh?
Yeah.
does he?
No.
I think he does it on the sport bike.
Oh, on the sport bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of guys with sport bikes.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't know.
Guru
Absolutely
and all
not.
those guys. Yeah, they do it all with handbrakes. Yeah,
Like-
for sure.
whatever the fucking splittered rev limiter coaster.
Re-
shit.
At the end of the day,
spreaders.
at the end of the call,
Is that what it's called? What's it called?
What?
Spreaders.
A scary uncle? A right left, or what is it? Ralph Louis?
Banana
right,
split.
The right left? The
Banana split.
the lickety split.
I'm gonna make you ride my Dyna and have you do a right left.
No, definitely not. I'm not gonna crash your bike like that.
How come footbrake tricks don't have cool names like that?
Harley tricks just don't have
Because
cool names.
the
man.
footbrake guys are inventing the tricks.
Y'all got like Ralph Louis and stuff like that. Like we got.
Where do all these
Well,
names come
Well,
from?
you know what's crazy is
Dude that
I mean,
most
I
of the
can get,
Harley
like-
guys are naming these things
podiums,
the wrong way.
froggers.
Yeah.
We got all kinds of cool stuff. You guys are doing hand drakes.
Elbow drag.
Oh, what is that one called? The one where you hit your helmet? What is that? Oh, a helmet drag.
I mean, it is what it is. You know?
Never guess. What's the one where you hit
Throttle
this hand
hand?
and this hand? Oh, double hand. Oh, okay.
Sick.
Yeah. What about the throttle hand drag?
I would have called it a double handy, you know?
Oh, that's
You know what I
a
mean?
good
I would have
one.
called
Double
it, but
handy,
I didn't,
yeah.
I didn't name it. I didn't name it.
I mean, the Aussies call it the double Donnie.
Yeah, the double
The
Donnie.
double Donnie.
That's good.
Aussies have cool names for everything.
Yeah.
See, they got names.
Those kinds.
Yeah, they gotta name their stuff.
Is it
Yeah.
official though? These
Donnie
names
made it
official or no?
They're Australian official. How more
I like
official
when
do
the
you need
Harley
to be?
guys tried to name a trick that street bike guys did like 10 years
Like
ago.
it's already it
Yeah.
already has a name.
I-
First
not
one
naming
ever
a single
to ever in
Yeah.
history do
Yeah, What
this.
was the one I heard a long time ago? It was like, fuck, what trick was it? I wish I could remember. I heard him name something. I was like, dude, we've been calling it something else like forever. Like, that's not what that is.
Larry's?
But-
Larry's?
Larry's.
I think it was Larry's, and
Yeah.
people call that the wrong name. They're like,
Crazy Larry's.
yeah, Crazy Larry's. They keep calling it the wrong name.
Trent just called Ralph Louis the right left.
The right left.
I mean, you got close enough. Checks
And
out.
Spreader's the, what'd you call
What
it?
I a splitter or something?
Splitter.
I'm doing a splitter.
Doing the
Those
splitters.
are
Hell
six
yeah,
splitter,
brother.
Hell yeah, brother. Do the splitter.
Oh, fuck, I don't know.
All right, dudes. This was a good one. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Until the next
Oh,
one.
yeah.
The
Thank
next
you for
one will
having
be
me.
Sportster
Versus Bagger.
versus Bagger.
No Donna.
I'll be back. When a bagger
Or
does a wheelie.
We gotta get
Sportster-
Gary. We gotta get Gary on that
Yeah,
one.
get it. Gary's
Get
got
it,
Oh my
Gary.
God, Gary will just rag on
Yeah.
Sportsters.
Yeah.
He's so mean, dude.
Get Gary on the sporty.
I love sport bike guys.
Sportster.
Sportster guys.
Ride your ride, whatever.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Ride a Grom. I don't
Ride
know.
your fucking
Yeah.
ride.
If you're cool, you ride a scooter though. But whatever, ride your ride.
Scooter's gay.
Scooter gang.
What?
Scooter's gay.
Gang?
Gay.
Gay.
Oh,
G-A-Y.
You ride a Grom. Who are you talking to?
Monkey, actually. Get it
Same
right.
thing.
a
Except you
monkey.
paid $2
Way
grand
cooler.
more. Well, same thing.
Thanks for watching.